please, I would love to hang with you there. And oh, where'd my camera connection go? Okay, we're back. Join us on Twitch, twitch.tv/vfriends. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. If you're seeing this, you're watching the replay on YouTube. Thank you so much for doing so. My name is Jeremy. I'll be your host. This is the community chat. This is going to be a long-term endeavor. This is the we're going to buy the Jets equivalent for this profile. This is the journey to interview in a deep hour-long format every single VFriends token holder and anybody who's interested in the VFriends project. It may take years. I may not finish it before I die, but we're going to try. And today we have a very special guest, a VFriends OG, Alwin G, a cheerful chipmunk holder, and I can't wait to introduce you. So I'm going to bring you up right now. Here we go. Do the show.
Yes. Hey, Jeremy, what's up?
Everything's up. Everything's up. The market's up. The market's kind of in a lull, but everything else is up.
It's really good to see you. It's been a while. Well, it's been a while. Well, we haven't had the chance to meet yet, except in the chat and see you live. A little bit here, a little bit there, and had such a great time, to listen to your content. It feels really weird to see you so small in the screen.
I'm sorry. I can do this. Woo.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Is that better? Okay, you got it. No problem.
It's way better.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you for all the value you provide to the community, to the VFriends, everything that you're doing. It's really crazy. I still can't believe it. I remember one of your first live probably in the beginning, and I was looking at the screen, literally joining you live, and I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, and I was like, is he really I didn't know what you were building, in the beginning. I was kind of surprised that someone was so dedicated to the VFriends community. I was surprised, wow. And that was very inspiring that someone really went for it, even though, and you had some times where you also were kind of faded in this time. Absolutely. You didn't really know where to start the things and to build up the things. And I remember a live of yours where you were down and you felt like, oh, I really have a bad day today. And then we never saw you again like this after that.
I know.
Remember that one?
The live you're talking about. I love that you're going there from the start, because one of the reasons I'm excited to talk to you is your NFT isn't just like a 1-minute video. It's like a lot of one-on-one time with you, and you've been very prolific. I've been totally inspired by your editing style. I think it's very, 21st century. It's very much serves the short attention span, and you can pack a lot of information into 1 minute. And I think something that'll be fun for people, whether they can afford your NFT or not, is sort of talking about how you craft a story, which from what I've seen of you behind the scenes, you're very story driven, you're very subject driven, and it seems like a lot of thought and preparation goes into your work. And yeah, to speak to what you just said, the only way for me to I've just learned so much throughout this process. I was never a content creator before this, not really, because I didn't have a message. I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and I got tired of talking about myself. And so because I had other people to focus on, it made it really easy. But nonetheless, I am the conductor. I am the figurehead. I'm out in front of the camera. And so I can't help that my personal mood will inevitably surround, and you have to make that conscious choice to either turn that into something that's valuable for the community or talk through it until it gets out of your way. Right. And I feel lucky. I'm sure you do too, that we're in a place that is the community. They're just so giving, so forgiving, so generous with their attention, and so supportive, as we're all learning Web3, learning our platforms and the rest. So it's really great to have you.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you. And this is something, like I remember in the beginning, I also struggled so much. Like I started from scratch. Like literally, I can relate to your story. Like I didn't have any skills about social media, how to create this, do that, even making videos. Like after
Yeah.
all, I learned everything on the way, and I challenged myself a few times, and I had so much ups and downs, and I can maybe. Are we gonna stay an hour together?
Yeah. Is that okay?
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, we can wrap sooner. Yeah.
I am so happy to be with you this whole hour.
Yeah, and I also have this ready when you want to talk about it. We can always show off your beautiful artwork.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
but before we get there,
right?
I want to hear more about the story, like how you
Let's start.
came to the idea. There's so many people who want to release an NFT project, myself included, and I have like impeded myself by so much like analysis paralysis, like overthinking and not getting it done. And one thing I really admire about you is you mentioned this, and then within a week or two, you had it minted, and I think that's really cool to see.
I've always challenged myself in different ways over time these last 6-7 months.
Yep.
And this one was so scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so scared. I was like,
really?
And even the last time, just the day before to post the video that announces, like I said, big announcement in 10 days, big announcement in 7 days, and like the pressure goes up, and like big announcement tomorrow, and I'm like, damn, I'm not ready at all.
Yes.
And the video was not done the day I had to do the announcement. So I said, guys, I really want to make something cool for this big announcement. So I was like, I put the announcement tomorrow because I really want to make sure that the video, don't want to rush the thing. And especially that was the video that promotes what I'm doing. So if I do a shit promotion, it's not good. So I finished the video.
Yeah.
And I had put, the video on my phone to upload it on Instagram, on Reel, the first. And then I'm like, the button, I have to put share, the button, and I'm like, will I really do this? You know what I mean? Like, will I really do this? I'm like, who am I to do this? Like, after all, maybe I'm gonna struggle to tell the story of people. Maybe I'm not gonna find images. I'm not gonna find videos that I'm looking for. I'm not gonna be able to help. Like, who is gonna buy my NFT after all? Who am I? Like everything in my mind is like, and I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yes.
And then it's too late. It's gone.
Yes.
You can't go back after that.
I'm sure that's super relatable. Like it is for me. I know every time, like every day, you have to like recommit to making content, right? Like it doesn't make itself. Like
Absolutely.
It seems like a very mundane thing to upload a picture and press post, but like there's a lot of micro decisions that happen along the way. And I think that's one thing I learned from Gary is like, don't overthink the micro, stay focused on your macro, and everything else will work itself out. Let the market decide. And like already, 5 or 6 people have bought your NFT, right? So clearly the market is there. And I hope you can also tell us like what kind of opportunities that provides for you. I'm sure having that Ethereum is, as a creator is a big deal. It's
amazing. Like it's for me, it creates something like I've been doing my things for months, and I'm like, damn, I will have to get a real job at some point, Yeah. But the more I do my things, the more I feel like, oh my God, I can provide value to people. I can connect with more people. I can learn. I can challenge myself. I can do the things I love. I can do everything at once and at the same time be sustainable. Really, really.
Yeah. Which is part of the space, right? Like we're at this very Renaissance type of moment where artists, creators, even like statisticians, like whatever your thing is, you can find a way to tokenize it and really like take control of some economics for yourself with no middleman, just you and the audience. And, you might have to onboard your audience because it's so early, but like, I like, that's one of the most powerful things right now is like, it doesn't matter what kind of artist you are, there's no barrier to entry except for an internet connection, you know?
Well, you know, Jeremy, I'm multi-passionate in my life. I've done so many things, and maybe I can tell you a little bit about my life. Maybe you don't know the
Please, I'd
story.
love
Like,
to hear your whole story. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, I'm someone like who is very curious. You know, I very connect with what the message of Gary Vee is like. I'm very curious. I love to learn. I love to grow. I'm passionate about that, about growing, learning, about personal development, about um, put all that together, connect with more people, building network is relationships, you know, and
Mhm.
new experiences. That's so like wide, but it
Yes.
really fits to me. You know, I've had all that in my head that how can I make something that puts this all together? And I'm also passionate about the fact that I like to express my ideas. And for a long time, I didn't know how to do that. And to step back for a moment, like when I was, you know, I'm from France. Maybe you can hear in my accent, you or probably already know that, but I was born
Yes.
and raised in France. But and for a long time, like in my teenager life, um, maybe today by making videos, by looking like, hey, I'm the cool guy on camera, you know,
Yeah.
I look confident. Maybe for some people, very confident.
Mm. That
But
wasn't always the case.
no, I was so shy at school. I
Hmm.
was so shy, and and I can relate to other people's story. I was that was very hard for me at some point in my teenage life to make friends, to be like to find these kind of people that are like me. You know, I felt very different. I felt like I was not connected, not integrated to people around me. And you know, at this stage, it's all your life. Like you feel
Yeah.
like this is your whole world is around you at home with your family and going to school and probably
Right.
some activities around. This is your world. You have only seen that. You don't know what
Yes.
the other things that are possible. So I was going to school with a lump in my stomach every morning because
Mm.
I knew that I would have some kind of judgment from people that I hated, and then I would go back to school to my home after that. This is a really true story.
Hmm.
I think it's important to remember these times. And I had to find some escape. So I played a lot of video games at this time. I played music. I did a lot of things like different things. And then it has always been something that some bad habits in the past comes back in your mind. And even though I feel confident in some things, I still sometimes, especially when I feel down, I have these bad habits. Or yeah, by the way, am I deserving this? You know,
Right. That, like, you've heard the term imposter syndrome.
exactly.
Yeah, that feeling of like, who, like just how you're saying, who am I to release an NFT? Who's gonna buy it? Or like, I don't have
Exactly.
enough experience, professional experience, or I don't know. Like, we like to put excuses or qualifiers when, like, we're in a world where you can decide who you want to be, and nobody's judging you but yourself, right? Not really, but
Yeah, and
people are
you
mine.
can change also.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Sometimes you're not meant to be the same person to do the same thing your whole life, you know.
Hmm.
But growing is also part of it. And then you know, I started from that point. I started to listen to step by step. You know, small, starting small. Started to listen to what is inside. You know, my inner voice. Started to listen to it, and I was like, what is my heart telling me at this time?
Mm.
I should quit my job. A few years later, I should quit my job and go to travel.
Mm.
Remember the travel? I think I showed you.
Oh yeah, I've
Uh,
seen them. Yeah, I love
and I've
it. I
been
love your
traveling
map.
like crazy. I've really like a very such an adventurous way. I traveled by hitchhiking in so many countries. I never knew where to sleep. I knocked on people's doors to be hosted. I did 11K kilometers, 11,000 kilometers by hitchhiking, 250 cars, like just crazy. I didn't talk too much about it in my content, actually. In the beginning, a little bit, but I have so much to say, so much to share from already my own story, you know.
Yeah.
I tell other people's story, but I also have really a lot of things. And then after that, I lived in the UK. I lived in Australia. You know, everything like this made me learn English. So that's why I speak English now.
Yeah.
Pretty not so bad.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just thinking, like, what a demonstration of courage. Like, to go knocking on a stranger's door and ask for help. Like, it takes courage to just ask for help in general from someone you know, let alone someone you've never met.
Let me tell you the first time I knocked at the first door of the first house.
Okay.
It's like, it's historical in my story. So that was in France, actually. And I had, you know, the first times, you know, I knew a friend who was living there, so I was sitting. But this day, I absolutely knew no one. So I arrived to next to the German border, pretty much, and I was still in France. I need somewhere to sleep tonight, and I was kind of challenging myself already back then, challenging myself, like, I have to find something by my own. You know, already kind of have this entrepreneurial spirit, you know, at this time. I have to find a way to sleep somewhere. I believe, like, I was convinced that it was possible, and it was like some kind of a treasure hunt, you know. I believe that people can help me find clues to, at the end of the day,
you made it fun. You made a game out of it a bit.
Yeah. And then I knocked to this first door, and I was like, damn, I have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna say. I will look ridiculous. I knocked, someone, you know, it was getting dark, so, you know, like, you start to be careful of people outside, you know. And then I probably looked like a homeless person, you know. I knock, and hello, I am Alvin. Okay, bye.
Oh, really?
No, not like this exactly, but that was so bad speech this time. And then she said no, and I was like, damn, she said no. And then the same person took his car at some point, but I was really rejected like crazy, you know, this moment. She took the car, so I walked away a little, because that was in the countryside, you know. She walked away, she took the car, and she saw me a little bit further. She stopped me, and she said, by the way, are you still looking for somewhere to sleep? I said, yes, please. And then she said, maybe there's a guy there. If you go down the road, maybe he can help you. So I go down the road, but I had no idea which house was it. Like, there were like a bunch of them. So I go to one of them. It wasn't the person, and she said, no, it's not possible here. No. Maybe it's one of the neighbors. So I go to this neighbor, and actually there was a guy with some kind of a little farm in his home. I go in, he was there, and we were talking to each other, and he was like, you really want to, like, you really travel like this? Are you crazy or what? Are you really doing this?
It is.
And then we spent like something like 30 minutes together to talk, and he started it, and he was, you know, like, he had to go for he had to go out. After 30 minutes, he had left the key with the house just for my own. We just met 30 minutes ago, and I could sleep. It was my home, his house, and I slept there. That was amazing. I think that was one of the best, you know, day of my life, because it was such a victory, you know. When you believe that you can travel like crazy, and you can really figure out things that seem impossible for people, but for me it was possible. It's
yeah, something I'm thinking about is, like, you had to keep going. You know, I guess if you were forced to, you could have slept outside, you know, tried to find some cover somewhere. Or,
it was cold. It was so cold. So it was end of October, pretty much same as now.
Yeah.
Are still cold
And so
outside.
like, you know, in a less dire situation with, if you're not looking for shelter, if you're like trying to do something and you get turned down, you know, somebody says no, whether you're asking for a job or something other along those lines, you know, like putting the urgency behind you that it has to happen will lead you to the right place. Like you walk down the road and that first woman you asked drove by and gave you a breadcrumb, right, to follow, but you could have walked the other
Exactly.
way, you know, like, so there's so much serendipity in this, but like the fact that you kept going led you there. And I think that's a really beautiful part of that story.
Yeah, maybe without the first one, I would have found the one, you know. Some like, that's why I said some kind of treasure hunt in the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So I wonder in this, like, when did you start following Gary Vee? Like, how did he impact you in this journey?
So I think it was something like 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, because this is also the time where I started personal development for myself. So I first had a French coach that helped me a lot, that was inspired by these guys like Tony Robbins and the other amazing group.
Yeah, the business-minded, self-development, self-help type folks.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I also went through some programs of Tony Robbins as well.
Nice.
Dean Graziosi was like Gary Vee, and everything kind of, I was going into this world of personal development, and that really, really changed me, you know, like traveling was the first step, and then personal development, like that was like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done some of that as
helped me so
well.
much.
And like, it's amazing how, you know, most of it is mindset oriented, right? It's like whether you're reading, what's that very famous, like one of the first self-development books?
Napoleon Hill?
Napoleon Hill. Yeah. What's the title of that book? You remember?
Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. Like that is
One
like
of the first book I read.
That is like seminal in that kind of philosophy, right?
Yeah,
and I remember reading that book and feeling very empowered. Like, it's up to you. You know, you have to seek it out, and you have to decide that you're worthy of finding it, and you have to decide that like you have the fortitude to go out and get it, that you deserve it, like all of those things. What was something that was like a limiting belief that you had to like unpack on your self-development journey? I feel it's always an interesting question for me, because everybody has different programming from their parents or their situation. You know, they don't believe this, that, or the other thing. Is there something that stands out that like, as soon as you had the self-awareness on it, you were able to like see much farther your potential?
Yeah, absolutely. But don't get me wrong. Like, even though I look like I'm confident and stuff, I'm still going through a lot of challenges right now, right?
Absolutely.
I think the thing that helped me the most in personal development is the seek of clarity. The moment and that was kind of painful in the beginning, to have this coach telling you, what is your goal in life? What is your goal? What are your goals? Like, just write down 3 goals for next year. No idea. I don't know. And I started to write something like, be happy, you know, make more friends, make more money. Like,
yeah,
very, you know, wide, but like that anybody would write the thing. But actually, the more I learned later on, that the more clarity you have, the closer you get to exactly what you write on it, right? It's
right.
It's and even sometimes, like, I spend a lot of time to make sure that my goals are updated, because I always reach my goals. I don't know what's going on. I always reach my goals, and I go too fast.
Hell yeah.
I made my goals 2021, beginning of 2021. I had to redo it, I think already 2 or 3 times, because I reached it all the time. It's
Alvin,
crazy.
let's go. I love that. I mean, congratulations.
Man, thank you. Thank you. And but it's very important, when you reach a goal to straight away put new goals, because otherwise you stay in this thing and you are like, okay, it's done. I have
Right.
nothing to do.
Right. I think I struggled with that a lot during the pandemic and during the quarantine because
Yeah.
I went through a process, and I know many people did, of like, do I want to be doing what I was doing beforehand? Like, do I want to return to the same life? Because, even you have incremental goals, sometimes you realize you're on a path that is not actually where you want to be. And I found myself questioning that, I'm not even sure I really arrived at an answer yet, but like the questioning it was valuable for me. And that made my goals less clear, like we're talking about, less specific.
Yeah.
Were you empowered by the time that you got from quarantine, or did you make a big change in your goals, or
Yeah. So let's explain a little bit where I was at this time. I
yeah.
was picking apples in Australia.
Oh, awesome.
And around the campfire, sleeping in a tent. Just to put that, like, I have my apartment now, a rent. I live in France, but last year was completely different. But
Yeah.
I think, yes, I think to answer your question, Jeremy, is like, I think we all have been through some kind of learning process during this thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether it has been a painful learning or a wise thinking learning. And actually, I was obviously, as everyone at some point, a little bit upset because it's really changes your life habits, and very difficult to socialize. But at this time, I was pretty lucky. I would say lucky compared to many people, because I was living surrounded with a lot of people in the farm.
Yeah.
So I didn't really feel like the first months where, everything was shut down, March, April, like so straight for everybody. But for me, until probably June, and especially in Australia, there were not many cases, even though the restrictions were high. I didn't feel like that was such a pain in the beginning. But there was still this fear of what's gonna happen next, like what's gonna happen next. But for me, and this is something I already said in one of my videos, everything I do, even though it's painful, even the experiences I have, and sometimes it's still difficult, but I always see this as a learning experience, and that's what everyone should do, right?
Yes. Well, and the big unlock with that for me was like, what's the alternative? Like Gary says this all the time, like, if something bad happens, or you make a mistake, or you find yourself in an unwanted position, it has to be a learning experience. Otherwise, the alternative is just you sit in it, you just dwell, and that's not helping anybody, not you or anyone you want to serve. So
I also have to mention that there is something that happened as well, is that I broke up with my girlfriend at this time. And that was also very painful. And I think I'm not the only one at this time, because everything went crazy. So
yeah, there's a lot of relationships where you either broke up or you got married. That was kind of like, it really was like a catalyst, right? It's like either you like two souls, minds, bodies, like forced in time and space. It's like you either come together or you have to come apart, because everything comes out.
I can see that you have a library behind you.
I do. Yeah.
So you mentioned the book of Napoleon Hill, but are you what are the types of books you read most of the time, to when you have time, free time, obviously, but
Yeah,
um,
I'm actually
like
not
knowledge.
reading at all. I'm not reading any books right now, and it's not my favorite thing to admit. What I like to read is this book here. My headphones are like. This is like one of my favorite books. This is the Italian popular comedy.
Was it the gratitude gorilla that failed on the floor?
it was it was actually a magic wand. This is a
I
real
saw the
magic
video.
wand.
I
Yeah,
saw your live yesterday. It was like, oh,
I know. Yeah, that
watch
was a
out.
very surreal moment. It was very. I've never held something worth that much money before. Yeah, this is a book about the history of Commedia dell'arte, which I'm sure you're familiar with, being French. The Commedia, are you?
I am not really, actually.
Oh, well, the Commedia dell'arte is a theater form that came out of the Italian Renaissance in the marketplaces. It was an improvised form of performance that spurred out of the marketplaces, and then eventually different troops of friends and families would perform these stock characters. So a lot of the characters we know from Shakespeare, for example, are permutations of these commedia characters. You know, like the master, the servant, the bumbling fool, the greedy old man. Those all come from the commedia, and they have roots in like more ancient history as well. But eventually, from like 1550 to the 1600, they got so popular that the King of France actually commissioned an entire family of these performers to be his resident jesters and performers. So they performed in the French courts for almost 100 years until they were banished because they offended the king. And all of that history is hearsay, but where I learned it was in this book. And in addition to like talking about the history, it also talks about the characters in like a very detailed way, more than what I learned studying it in Italy. And so this is my go-to. Like this connects me to some of my favorite things about theater.
Were you good at school?
What does that mean?
Were you a good student? Like,
when I went to school, I was good at school. I was good at school. I mean, I was good at test taking, so I like got relatively good grades. I was in honors classes. I did AP stuff in high school for college credits. I really excelled in math and science. So yeah, I was good at school. Yeah. I became less good at school when I didn't see the value of what I was learning, And then in college, that sort of shifted as I was having to juggle work and also my own creative projects and being forced to study like classical text, which, is really interesting for some people and like not really that interesting for me. So, I think just like anything, like if it sparks that curiosity, then there's reason to devote time and attention and be good at it. But yeah, I would say I was relatively good at school. Alan asks, what's my favorite Commedia dell'arte character? This is a difficult question. This is difficult to answer, but I'm going to say, this is hard. I'm going to say Pantalone. Pantalone is the first character I played in a performance, and he is the old miser. He's the greedy miser, and his like comedic flaw is that he's extremely greedy. So like there's a lot of scenarios written about him where like a penny drops on the floor like a mile away and he can hear it and he like darts out to find this penny. Or like he's also like a bit of a creep. Like if you know The Merchant of Venice, do you know The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare? Perhaps. Or if anybody in the audience knows that play, Shylock from The Merchant of Venice is kind of like a a version of Pantalone. He has like a big hook nose. A lot of the like old dirty stereotypes about the Jewish people come from that character. And he's also one of my favorites because he's very scrawny. He's scrawny and is often the butt of the joke. And yeah, he's not a cheerful chipmunk. I'm glad you brought that in because I wanted to ask you how you chose the cheerful chipmunk, because you are such a cheerful chipmunk. Like, I don't know. Like, there are certain people who like they just knew themselves enough to get a character that really resembled part of their soul. And even the cheerful chipmunk is not cheerful 100% of the time. But I just feel like you have so much in common in like your essence. It's very fun.
It's in my blood, I really, it's in my values too, I really understand the power. I call it the power of positivity, positive thinking, positive things,
Yes.
And being cheerful is also some kind of part of being positive in the things and
being optimistic, right?
Optimistic, exactly. So this is not really the reason why I chose it. It's because, first of all, it looks really gorgeous, right?
Absolutely.
It's so nice. It's a good drawing, I think.
I agree. I think it's more advanced than some of the other ones, for sure.
But I chose this one because my name is Alvin. So we pronounce it like a V, but it's written as a W. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Alvin.
But
like Alvin the Chipmunk.
Exactly, like Alvin and the Chipmunk. So that's why I chose the cheerful chipmunk. And I'm so happy that it's cheerful because it also fits to my personality. So 2 reasons to choose the cheerful chipmunk.
It makes perfect sense. I didn't even think of that.
To be honest, I brought that up afterwards. When I chose it was just because chipmunk, and then I found other reasons to put on top of it.
Yeah,
but it's pretty cool.
I don't know why. There's something about like even your haircut reminds me of the cheerful chipmunk. I don't know what it is. I know
it's long. I need to cut it.
Well,
I wanted to cut it today.
I think it might
Jeremy,
be.
I had cut my beard for this meeting. I really did an effort. You see?
It looks sharp. You look good. You look cleaner than I am. You look sharp.
Yeah.
Well, since you're all like primed and ready, should we transition into your project?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I obviously support you. I'm very excited that you're taking advantage of this moment. And maybe taking advantage isn't right. It's just you're experimenting, you're participating. And like, I really think more creators need to play. And your piece is beautiful. Like, I would say it's simple in its beauty. Like, I really like it. So, I'm going to sort of defer to you as like what you feel is best to go through this. Like, obviously I want people to hear about the utility and like maybe even how you brainstorm and did it. But I think people will also be curious, like how you created this. Like, did you work with a single artist or multiple artists? Did you know what you wanted, or how was that process?
Yeah. So I think I had put a lot of importance in the visual because we know that this is very important to have a good visual to kind of introduce the project that you are doing. So big shout out to Sven, Road to VCon, who created this for me. So we came with a few ideas. I was like looking at icons of cameras, and like he really created something amazing for me. And we came up with the Golden Plague because this is my first series. So I wanted it to look like the rarest of the collection. I don't plan on, doing more stuff for quite a while, but I wanted this first series to be like memorable visually, and this is way better than my expectations. It looks.
It's really gorgeous. Like, and I should have known that Sven created this, because now that you say that, I can see his style in the piece, which is awesome. And so tell us about the creation process. Was it like immediately like 1 minute video? That's what you want? Or because I think I know that afterward you added the like consultations, like the phone calls that you added. Yeah. So like, please tell people like what you get with the NFT and maybe how that developed, why you made the NFT that it is.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I noticed that a lot of people have amazing stories, especially in the NFT space, well, everywhere, but I'm looking for people more in the NFT space, but everyone has amazing stories to share, but don't really have something to kind of promote themselves. They don't really have this kind of visual, this kind of piece that explained who they are. I was like, what can I do with my skills, with my learning experience of these last months, that bring value to people, bring visibility, elevate their story. I want to make them like feel so proud of having this, and I want them to pin this video on their Twitter because they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
And
nice.
And I was already working on one video today. This video of Jesus, the first token holder. Crazy story.
Yeah.
So excited. So that's what I want. This is the main thing. I think, this is good to have a good visual. This is good to have an NFT project, but I really myself like NFT projects with utility. So this is the utility. The main utility of it is a 1 minute video about someone's story, but it's very flexible. It can be about the business of someone. It can be about the NFT project of someone else. The whole life story, a scene in their life that they want to bring that up. Got married, or I don't know. And anything is, as I said in the video, anything is possible. And it's one by one that we determine what is best for the person. I want to do something for the person. It's not for me. Yeah. So this is the main utility is that. And I was like, what can I do more? What can I do more than this to kind of create another dynamic behind that? So I said, how about, I'm pretty good at talking on a one-to-one, and really kind of listen to people's projects and give some tips and advice. And I'm also learning, I'm not, super experienced in everything, but I believe I can help some people and inspire people. This is, so rewarding for me to inspire people. This is my message, has always been. And I was like, how can I do that? So I added the one-to-one personal experience, which is a weekly 15 minutes one-to-one, or 15 minutes, I say 15, one-to-one call every week that you can ask me anything. You can ask me anything, and I will try to, answer your questions. Yeah. And what was the last one? And an invitation to an Instagram live. Because then when we release the video,
so like some kind of interview like this, but on your Instagram.
Yeah, because this is a 1 minute video, and maybe some people want to know more. So I'll do some kind of an hour meeting can also add more visibility to this person. Like, I really tried to do something for people. This is that was really my message through this, Yes. So this is the main thing, and I was like, how can I do? How can I do even more?
Absolutely. Because that's what we do, right? We want to over deliver, under promise, over deliver.
Exactly. Because you can tell me, yes, but once the video is done, once this is done for 3 months, and once the IG is done, then what? I just keep it in my wallet, and then that's it. So I've decided to create the GC meeting that we have every week, and I don't plan on ending it. I do it every week, and we have this kind of half an hour session. The amazing team that we have right now, we did a meeting yesterday, so that was kind of the introduction thing, but we'll go deeper into one topic every week. So probably there's a lot of people that want to learn how to make videos and want to ask me questions about how I do things, and God knows that there is a lot of things to know, like so much, whether it's on how to tell stories, how to have ideas, how to present it, how to post it in social media, which kind of format, which kind of thing, the technical stuff, which gears to use, which microphones, music, sound effects, is everything to think about, softwares. So yes, I believe I can help in that.
I love it, man. I really am excited. Have you given thought to about like the secondary market? Like, let's say Jesus, for example, got the first one, and you do the whole thing, 1 minute video, interview on Instagram. He's going to your GC meetings, and somebody offers him 0.2 for it. He flips it, makes profit. What does the new person receive? Do they receive the whole package, or do they receive access to the community and the GC stuff, or what's your plan?
This is something, and I want to be transparent with everyone, because this is also going to help people that are kind of wondering, also this question. And I haven't done through any kind of answer related to this, but the fact of doing a weekly meeting is kind of something that even after the main utility of it, there is still this dynamic that, okay, I hold the token, but on top of that, there is still a dynamic behind that.
Yes.
Other than that, and this is something I really like, I was kind of surprised, like maybe the day after I released, or maybe during the day I released, I was like, oh, by the way, second market. Oh, damn. Completely forgot this. And because I did everything, I rushed everything, but I think this is important to have opinion about the people, about my token holders, and the project is going to evolve over time. I think many NFT projects are and have to be flexible in many ways. I think some of my dear token holders are actually don't want to sell even after the video, maybe, I don't know. So I'm so happy for them to keep it as well as selling it. But when they will want to sell it, obviously I will have to, maybe I will have other ideas, on the way. But definitely have the feedbacks of people and patience of doing things will definitely bring more ideas to the thing.
Absolutely. And so when people buy the NFT, do they contact you on Instagram, or have you given them instructions or anything?
So when they buy it, I have their name. So it's good to join the Discord. It's good to join the Discord.
Yes.
Then I can know the person who buys it. Join the Discord, join the GC family on the link in my bio, on my profile. The GC family, let's go! And there is
the Discord link on your OpenSea collection has expired. FYI. I just tried it.
That's not good.
The one in your bio still works, but the one on your OpenSea collection is expired.
The OpenSea collection is expired?
Yeah, just FYI.
Yeah, I will fix that. Okay.
Yeah, I want.
But yeah, I
want to be in your Discord. How come I wasn't invited? No.
Actually, someone told me that the Discord was also expired today, the link.
Oh yeah,
So everything was expired today.
that's okay. We're learning every day.
And it's live, right?
What is live?
And we are live, you know,
We are
dealing with
live.
with the thing. It's always like this.
I'm joining your Discord right now. We're always live. You know, one thing I love that I came to from self-development is the notion that your entire life, every decision you've ever made, every single mistake, every candle you've sniffed, every department store you've walked into, every purchase, every single thought you've ever had has led you to this moment where we're here talking on Instagram. And it's always true. No matter when you are, no matter where you are, whenever you say it, it's true.
It's so true. It's so true. And even when the bad stuff happens, and this is where we need the most self-awareness, is when when we are down, like even the worst case, you know, when we lost a beloved one or these kind of things, that we still have to know that it was kind of, you know, some things are very bad, not meant to be, but you know, this is life, you know, it's part of life.
Yeah, they're all part of our journey, whether we would like it to be that way or not. And like, especially when things are done, sadly, sometimes things are done.
Exactly. I want to put that up. You know, I think I've been very inspired by my grandmother. She died a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. And she was literally the wisest person of my family. Like everyone loved her. She was like, I remember when I came from the in the house, in the stairs, you know, she was always waiting for me on top of on top of the stairs, and she was looking at me like, "Oh, Alvin," and with an energy that is so warm and welcoming and peaceful, and she was so famous in the family for that, you know. When she passed away, everyone was really, really sad because she had this kind of, she was very wise that not on many other people in the family have, you know, this quality. So she's one of the source of inspiration even now. Anytime, anything I do in my life, as you said, anything that happens, it's always, I always try to see what this teaches me, what I can learn from this bad experience. Let's call it that way. From this bad experience, from this thing, from people that, you know, when you were a kid that talked bad about you. What do I learn from that?
Yeah.
And when you start scrolling and then you see Gary, gratitude, like
always
this helps so much too. Like,
yeah,
let's be honest.
I love that. You know, usually at the end of the interview, I'm like, is there anything that you want to just share with people? Like, you know, some inspiration. Like you just went, but you just hit the nail on the head. Like to speak about the opportunity of a moment, regardless of if it's going your way or not, and to have gratitude. Like I understand that it can be frustrating for people because it may sound like lip service or it may sound empty, you know, in some way, to be like, how could I possibly be grateful for my grandmother's death? Like, that's a very, on the surface, it may seem very difficult to comprehend, but like, I think, go ahead. Yes.
I have an answer for that. You can be grateful because maybe, yes, she passed away, you're sad, but doesn't matter where she is now, she wants you to be happy. She would like you to be happy, not sad.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes. I love that. Well, send us off, Alvin. So we know, join the Discord. We know you're doing amazing work on Instagram. We're going to see some pretty cool 1-minute videos in the coming weeks or months. And what else? Like, how can we support you? And otherwise, what would you like to bring our attention to?
There's something I would like to say, and because it's the market, right? People want us to do a duet together.
A duet? Okay. We're gonna sing a song?
Yeah, sing a song, and the lyrics are are
I'm nervous. Okay.
LFG.
The lyrics are just LFG?
Yeah, well, let's fucking go.
Let's.
Okay, you ready? Yeah. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. LFG, let's go. LFG, let's go.
Let's go.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
I think we're gonna have fun at VCon.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. That I'm glad you said that, because I need to like keep in my mind, like, bring a kazoo and other small pocketable instruments. There's so many musicians in the community. Like, there's so much. Like, VCon's gonna be such a blast. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm not ready. I don't know. I will, when it comes around, I'll be ready, but I won't be prepared. It's like, it's gonna be a lot all at once.
I will tell you very quick how I felt like on the way. All these months coming. The beginning, like, you buy the token, the VFriends in the beginning. You're like, let's go to VCon. So excited to be at VCon. And then after a bit, by the way, there's still a long way after VCon.
A long way, for sure.
And like, there's so much things we can do between. Like, the more time goes, the more you feel like there's still so much time. Like, I don't feel it's so close.
Yeah.
And
at the same time, it's basically half a year, like 7 months. It's gonna come fast too. But there's a lot between now and then.
In 6 months, is you still have the same pretty much time until
started. Is that what you're gonna say?
Since we started, yeah.
Yeah. So twice. Oh my god.
It's crazy, right?
It feels like years have passed.
Yeah.
Have you seen that meme of the person who's like, my first 5 months in the NFT space have been amazing. I'm not stressed at all. And they're like all gray haired and they're like decrepit old. I haven't seen that one. Or there's like another meme of a guy like, I've been in the NFT space for however long. It's my 22nd birthday. And they like are old.
Yeah. Well, we all know that this is also a space that we have to always constantly bring awareness to scams and this kind of stuff, because it's probably a video that I will do when I will have a bit more time, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But scams are everywhere, and some people, I remember the guy who lost so many apes in his wallet.
Yeah.
So many really, really valuable pieces. And and the NFT space can be amazing, and it has been amazing for a lot of people, but it can also be the opposite.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that back. In case you're new to the space and you happen to find yourself at the end of this video, your secret recovery phrase is private. If somebody has access to it, they can steal all of your assets, and there's no refunds, there's no insurance, there's no accountability. What's done is done on the blockchain. Please be very mindful of Discord direct messages. There are a lot of scammers and people impersonating. There's a new scam coming out every single day. The safest way to protect yourself in Discord is to turn off direct messages.
That's what I do.
Never share your screen with a support service that's asking you. Never share your private Discord ID. Never share your MetaMask QR code in a screen. Please be very mindful. You are ultimately responsible for your assets and your wallet and everything else. And all we can do is educate people on how to protect themselves. There's no changing or retroactively reversing a transaction. So please do be very careful. Ooh, Alan Close says metaversible.io is a great resource for knowledge about security. I'm gonna look that up. Metaversible.io.
Yeah, I've never heard about this website. This is really good to share. Thank you, Alan.
Check it out. I'll have to check it out. Cool. Well, I'm about to do a Twitter space on wellness in the NFT space. If you want to join me, I would love to have you there. Anybody who's watching, please feel free to come over to Twitter. It was such a pleasure to have you, Alvin, and we should do it again. You know, there's so many more things, like things that we're both doing that I think we can offer perspective and value on. And, you know, please update us on your project. I'd love to share the videos you're putting out and otherwise. And yeah, I'm just very grateful to have got to know you a little bit during this.
Yeah, I am grateful. Like, thank you so much for inviting me. That was such like, I was like, is he really gonna invite me for real? Like, what's going on?
I'm nobody special.
And so I was kind of surprised but so happy, you know. And it has been quite a while that that I looked forward to come to your show, and this was the opportunity. And hopefully I get to provide some values to people at the same time. And yeah, thank you for what you do once again for the community.
Oh,
and let's go for some cheerfulness at the end. You know the Star Wars Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think my neighbors think I'm crazy because it's 10 p.m.
Oh yeah. And you're like, yeah. That's okay. Let them think whatever they want.
Thank you so much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Alvin. We'll see you soon.